What's up, everyone? This is Bacon, and today we're going to do a King's Tower video. I haven't done a King's Tower push in probably about a month or two, and so I wanted to do that today, kind of show you what I normally do when I'm pushing towers, talk about the importance of the towers, and then kind of show you my end results. So here's where I'm at so far. I'm at 362 Light, 378 Mauler, 355 Forsaken or Graveborn, and then 389 with the World Tree or the Wilders, and then I have 581 for the normal tower. Now, King's Tower is a little different than, Campaign and Forked Fate, because the more you progress, you don't get more passive rewards. It's just a one and done type of thing. So if we look at the World Tree, for example, if I clear this, I get 600 of the common enchantment tokens. If I clear the next one, I get 90 of the soul stones, so on and so forth. Same here with the main tower. You get a little better resources overall. You get some diamonds, and you kind of progress in there. So that's the big difference. I think the towers are always nice to clear. Getting those bonus rewards is always nice, but I think it's really important in the beginning because the resources like the purple essence or the hero's essence are really valuable at the beginning. And so the more you clear with these, the more you can level up your heroes, progress in that regard. The normal tower is really good at that. And then with these ones, you get a lot of the emblems to help with your signature items. You get different passive, not passive, but you get quest rewards. Here, you can see here, if I complete 590, I'll get some diamonds. And then if I get 360 in all factions, which is just a Graveborn that's missing, I get some scrolls there. So that's the importance of doing it. But it's a little different than Campaign and Forked Fate. It doesn't help you passively get better, but you do get some nice rewards to start off with. So let's go ahead and jump in to push in these towers, and let's start with Lightbearer. All right, it has been a while since I've done Lightbearers. Let's go ahead and just copy whatever people have used for this one and then see if it works. I got the Owl. The Owl gives the Lightbearer bonus, and it's also just one of the best pets in the game. But I mean, with how easily I just beat this, I feel like I could probably just auto that same team and just go from there. So let's go ahead and try it and see if I fail. I mean, the big ones are, we got Rowan in there, you got Gwyneth, you got Rosalina, and then you have Lucius, and then Shield Man, forgot his name, and some tankiness, but that one didn't work. So, I mean, that just shows you how much the team, where you put people in the comp, can actually affect things. So let's go ahead and see what the next one is. Yeah, I mean, this one cleared it with just a legendary Estrilda. I have a maxed out Estrilda as far as Ascension goes. My Gwyneth, I think she's plus 10 on her weapon or signature item, so she could probably be better in that regard, but still solid. So let's continue that. Boom. Nice. Okay. So I'm going to let that kind of play out for a little bit, see how that goes. Now, as far as the other areas that I'm in, let's just go ahead while that's playing. Let's just do some summons, see if I can push a little bit. See if I can get lucky with some heroes that I need. I don't really even know what I need at this point. I feel like I've gotten the big heroes that I really want. Ooh, an Athalia. We'll definitely take an Athalia. But speaking of Athalia, I think it's interesting that there isn't a Hypogene or Celestial Tower. I think obviously that would be nice, even though I personally don't really have a lot of either of those heroes built out except for Taylene. But I think just having something... Oh, a triple. Those are all solid. I'll take those. But just having something would be really nice for people who have invested in and wailed for the Hypogenes and the Celestials. I would guess they would eventually add them, but maybe they're just hesitating because, ooh, these are two heroes I haven't built out fully yet, but I really need copies of, so that's great. But my guess would be that just Lilith, just maybe because there's not a lot of the Hypogenes or Celestials yet, that they want to kind of hold off on that. Let's go ahead and do a Wilder. Tassie, not exactly what I wanted. Let's go ahead and do these. I need one more Taline. Let's hope for one more Taline. But let's just go ahead and check the tower real quick. Okay, I'm still progressing, so that's good. Come on, Taline. Give me a Taline or the 30,000 diamonds. Still have not hit the 30k diamonds on this account. Nope. Rip. Graveborn, sure. That sounds great. Ooh, a double Graveborn pull. Okay, Odin. That's not a bad one for sure. Let's see where we're at with some of these heroes now. I got a Scarlet. I got a Silas. Let's go ahead and level up my Scarlet because, I mean, I do use her in a few areas, even as a one copy. So just kind of invest in her in a little bit will be nice. I got these bad boys already made to clear up some room, so I can just toss that on her. And then that should give me the Mythic Plus, which is good. Definitely don't have enough for Ascended, though, I don't think. Okay, let's go back. It looks like I'm stuck on 167. I think the big one that I really want to try is to get the 360 so I can, for Graveborn, so I can, let's put Mirror there instead. Get that one quest completed. The game is tweaking. Good lord, I got wrecked. My Graveborns just aren't very great. I feel like, let's see what they used. And sometimes when you look at the comps, the compy, this is kind of important, is there'll be heroes that you just don't have built up that you really, it's not worth putting them in. Gosh, I'm getting just smacked around. It's crazy. Then maybe that'll help. Gosh, I am really getting smacked here. Yeah, Grutzel's doing nothing, unfortunately. But she is actually really solid for towers. Desiree, Desira, something like that. Has some healing, some shielding, some buffing. She's really good with towers. I think this is really the only area where she really thrives. But if you're looking for a Graveborn to build, definitely someone to check out. Let's just toss her in there, see if she does anything. She might just die right away. I don't really have a lot of Graveborns built out much besides Mirror, unfortunately, so my Graveborn tower is just really sucky. Let's try the Wilder one. Yep, this is the classic. These are literally the classic top 5 Wilders, so let's just let them run. Let's see if I have any more friendship things I can get. I'm close enough to get 200, but it looks like I'm just going to be stuck at 100, so 110 pull. No, I don't want that. See if I can get that 390. Yeah, between Awakened Solace and Navanthi, the healing in this is just insane. So I'm going to let these kind of run, kind of try to push a few different areas, and then I'm going to have a final update on how my pushes go overall. But I think if you're just wanting some tips, I would definitely, as I've done several times, is just copy what other people have done on certain waves. Sometimes if you're just far enough ahead, you can use the same comps, especially early on. See, like this one I already failed, so I'm going to exit that one. Let's just do this one. But sometimes if you're like early on in the game and you don't have a lot of heroes built out, just use your best heroes in the faction. But as you progress later in the game, sometimes it's good just to go off the formations that have worked for other people, just because certain things are just so oddly specific that work for certain waves against certain champs, and it just makes sense to copy that and see what has already worked for people. Like this. Boom. Easy peasy. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start pushing for a bit, see if I can get all the 20 pushes that I have for the day. And then I will give an update at the very end to see how far I pushed. All right, after a few hours of working on my towers, this is kind of where I'm landing at. I used all my light bearer ones. I think I used all of my world treat. No, I have 2 more of those. Couldn't really get past that one. I used 12 for my Mauler tower. Maybe if I tried a little bit longer, I might be able to clear that one. And then I got pretty hard stuck after 8 pushes in my Graveborn. The pro of that is I did get past 360, but my Graveborns definitely are feeling pretty weak. But I want to go over each faction and just kind of mention heroes that I think are really solid in... Oh, I can't even do it. Yeah, let's look at what I did here. Okay, so just looking here, heroes that in the Lightbearer faction that are really solid for the towers include Gwyneth, Rowan, Sanja, Rosalina, and then for the 5th one, it kind of varies. Sometimes you can put Hendrik in, sometimes you can put Lucius in. What are some other... Let's take a look at the Lightbearers, just to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Rain sometimes can be slotted in. Strilda can be pretty solid sometimes. And then once in a while, Gwyneth is a little better than... Or not Gwyneth. Blenda is a little better than Gwyneth, but normally Gwyneth is going to be your main DPS for Lightbearers. Now let's go look at the Maulers. The heroes that I've basically been using have been pretty popular. Obviously, Awaken Brutus, once you get him. Salaki, pretty good Mauler hero overall, just a really solid guy. He offers a lot of support. Just, you know, let's just take a look at it. That's what he does. He gives life leech and haste for heroes. He does a little bit of damage here, shielding, and then because kind of more some damage, but he's a really good support hero. I don't want to get too much into him, but just someone who is kind of underrated, but I think a lot of people have over the past few months have really started to realize how strong he is. Chicken Man or Scryath is really solid. Kryn is also pretty good in towers. And then last one is Crassio, is also just overall one of the best Mauler heroes in the game. So don't forget about those guys. For Wilder, you're really going to use the same 5 or 6 heroes. That includes Leica. That includes Awakened Solace, Mishka, Navanthi, and Trisha. And then sometimes you might swap in Tassie for Leica or a few other variations, or Oku, but those are going to be your big ones. And then for Graveborn, you got Mira, you got Thorin, you got Shamira sometimes, Silas, Odin. Actually, I end up using him quite a few times just to push for a few stages. You got Hodgkin, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, but Dasira is also a really solid hero, buffer, healer, Graveborn for towers, so don't overlook her. And then obviously Mira is just the best Graveborn in the game, but I feel like Graveborns are pretty weak overall, but those are heroes that I think are really solid for towers. Now, I did push my main tower like 2, 3, 4 levels, which at this point is pretty substantial. Like, I feel good about getting that much because I also pushed towers not too long ago. If we look at the Wall of Legends, you can see where I kind of fall in the ladder for my... That's not what I wanted. For my server. And I'm at 6, 586, and then 592, 93, 602, 603, and 605. Overall, I feel pretty good about that because these are some pretty big beefy boys up here. So just the fact that I'm kind of sticking around up here makes me feel pretty good with that. And then I want to mention a few other things. So one thing that these faction towers don't really have that the King's Tower does is you can get some really solid loots on stages like 580, 570, in like every 10, you basically get some free stargazing cards, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it definitely can add up. So, I mean, that is every 100 levels you get 10. So 500, I got 50. So getting to this point, I've gone about 56, which honestly is basically enough to get one guaranteed copy, maybe two if you're lucky. But every bit counts in this game, especially when it comes to stargazing cards. You also get the diamonds and there's the resources, like I mentioned earlier. So definitely don't overlook these progressions, even though it doesn't affect your passive income necessarily. These are definitely something that can give you a little jolt to your account when you kind of get stuck in certain areas, especially early to mid game. Now let's take a look. Well, one thing at the end, I got a few more scrolls, so I'm just gonna summon these. Maybe I'll get something, maybe I won't. We'll see. Oh, there we go. That's how we do these. And then we got an Isabella. I think I actually needed one to get her up a level. There we go. Now we got Isabella to 1 star. Isabella's an interesting hero. I'm not going to get into her much, but kind of excited to kind of test her on a few areas. But that's the video for today, guys. Hopefully this helps with your King Tower journey, understanding things a little better, and then just good luck with you for those that are pushing. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you like my content, make sure you like and subscribe below. And have a great rest of your day. Peace.